Hello, dear students. How are you? I hope that you are fine and doing very well with your books. In the previous video, we took the basic concept of figures of speech, and today we'll see the same figures of speech but in little detail. So, let's start the video. When using figures of speech, the words will diverge from their literal meanings to give a more stylized and specialized meaning to these words. Let us take, for example, the phrase fast like lightning. This phrase merely implies great speed. It does not mean literally as fast as lightning. If you are using this same phrase in the sentence, it will look like somewhat like this. On hearing the school bell, the kids ran out of the class as fast as lightning. So, dear students, already I have given you the basic concept behind the figures of speech. It was in such a way that the words which are used in the phrase in the form of prose or the poetry, they do not convey their real meaning, but they convey in somewhat different way. The meaning of the words will be diverse to give a style and special meaning. Like in this example, we saw fast like lightning. So it doesn't mean that students were running like lightning. We can say that the students were running fast or they were walking rapidly. So here the word lightning and fast, they do not convey their real meaning, but they have given a diverged meaning to the sentence. So here we can say a figure of speech has been used by the writer. So there are many figures of speeches, nearly more than a dozen types of figures of speech, but here we will be focusing on the five main ones we use in our daily prose. Already the basic concept has been explained in the previous video. If you have not seen that, please visit it again and find the basic concept behind figures of speech. Let us see what a literal meaning is of figures of speech. Figures of speech lend themselves particularly well to literate and poetry. Not literate, it's a literature and poetry. They also pack a punch in speeches and movie lines. Indeed, these tools abound in nearly every corner of life. Let's start with one of the more lyrical devices, alliteration. So, first of all, we will discuss about alliteration. So, alliteration is the repetition of the beginning sounds of neighboring words. Dear students, whenever you see the repetition of beginning sounds, we can say that alliteration is being used in the sentences. Let's see the example. She sells seashells. It means that there is a girl who sells she sells. But here in the particular sentence, we can see that the word s is being repeated in every word. So here this type of sentence has alliteration in it. Second sentence, Walter wondered where Winnie was. Here also we can see the letter W is been repeated in every word. In the third sentence, we see blue baby bonnets bobbed through the bayou. Here also the letter B is been repeated. It means the consonant sound keeps on repeating every time in a single sentence. Maybe one or two words could be there who do not have the same word, but nearly most probably you will have two or three words in which there will be a repetition of the sound of consonant. Fourth sentence, Nick needed new notebooks. Here we see the repetition of N sound. Fred fried frogs legs on Friday. In this last sentence, we see the repetition of consonant F. So, wherever you find the repetition of consonant sounds in the beginning of the words, directly you can write that alliteration has been used here. So, let's see next one. Next is simile. This will be the main figures of speech in our total 5 figures of speech. So first one is simile. Now let's see the definition of simile. A simile is a figure of speech that uses comparison. In a simile, we use two specific words, like and as, to compare two unlikely things that actually have nothing in common. This is done to bring out the dramatic nature of the prose and invoke vivid images and comparisons. It is one of the most common forms of a figure of speech and is used in everything from day to day talk to poems. Let us see some examples of simile. She is as brave as a lion. Here you will notice a girl and her bravery are being compared to a lion. This is an unusual and illogical comparison, but it brings out the vivid imagery and lyrical quality of the sentence. The literal sentence would have read, She is brave, but using the simile makes it sound much better. Other such examples can be in the next slide, we will see. But before going to the next slide, we will see that simile uses comparison of two unlikely things. Like in the example we saw, the girl and her bravery was compared to lion. Also, words like like and as will definitely be used in order to show the comparison. In the sentence we see she is as brave as a lion, means the bravery of the girl is compared to as the bravery of the lion. If we see the word like and as, we can directly say that simile has been used in this sentence. So let us see some more example. Simile is a comparison between two unlike things using the words like or as. This is one of the detailed definition of simile. We can see the example, as slippery as an eel. Here eel is compared to the most slippery thing ever found. So word as has been used here. In the second example, like peas in a pond. Here like is used. In the third example, as blind as a bat. Again as has been used here to compare the blindness and the bat. Fourth sentence, eats like a pig. Here eating and the animal pig, they both are unlikely objects, but they are compared with the word like. The last sentence, as wise as an owl. The wisdom and owl, they both are unlikely objects or things. Owl is a bird and wisdom is an abstract noun. Both the objects which are unlikely to each other, they are compared as a one thing by using a word as. So whenever you are seeing the words like or as, you can say that simile is used in the sentence. Directly, it is a very short trick for simile. If you find in any sentence the two words like or as, directly you can see that simile is present. So let us take one more figure of speech. Second one is metaphor. A metaphor and a simile are quite similar. Actually, a metaphor also uses comparison to things that are in no way similar. It does so to bring out the symbolism. A metaphor is a word or a phrase used to show its similarity to another thing. It helps to explain an idea, but if you take a metaphor as its literal meaning, it will sound absurd. Here in the metaphor, again comparison is been made between two unlikely objects, but it is little bit different as compared to simile. Simile and metaphor, they both stand for showing the comparison. Simile uses the word like and as to show the comparison, but here metaphor do not use such word like or as. They will be showing direct comparison. Let us take an example. Alex is a chicken. Literally, this sounds so very absurd. It doesn't create any meaning. But this is a metaphor which suggests that Alex is a coward or frightened. It compares or implies that Alex is a chicken to bring out a symbolism. Some words examples are love is a battlefield, all the world's a stage, that technology is a dinosaur, etc. So in these phrases, we can say two different things are compared to each other without using any word, as like and as were used in the simile. They are directly compared here. So whenever two unlike objects are compared without using like or as, we can say metaphor is present. Let us take some more example. A metaphor makes a comparison between two unlike things or ideas. Like we can see heart of stone. We all know that heart is made up of muscles, blood capillaries, blood, and other things. So we haven't seen any time that heart is made up of stone. But we can say wherever this particular phrase is used, heart of stone, it means that a person is very rigid. He is very tough kind of guy. So here heart of stone means a person who is very tough or rigid. It doesn't mean that the heart is made up of stone. So heart and stone, they both are compared to each other without using any word like or as. So we can say that simile is not present here, it is metaphor. In the second sentence we said time is money. It doesn't mean that if you have a lot of clocks hanging around your house on the walls, you have lot of money. It doesn't mean that. Time is money, it means that you have to use the time wisely so that you can expand yourself and you can develop yourself. In the third sentence, the world is a stage. It doesn't mean you will play your role, you will dance or you will play some any type of role on this earth. It means that the world is a place where every people are living and they are performing their own role. So this type of comparison between the world and the stage, time and money, heart of stone, is made by metaphor without using any comparison word which were used in the similes. She is a night owl. He is an ogre. So night owl means a person who has less sleep during night. As we know, owls are always compared to such animals who do not sleep during night. So if we say that she is a night owl, we will wish to say that the particular girl or particular woman do not sleep in the night. He is an ogre. Ogre means a person or an animal who loves to eat the human beings. In the Hindi, we say as Adimano. So, he is an ogre means a person who is not eating the flesh of human beings but who wants to destroy the human beings. So, here we can say that all the examples are the examples of comparison of two unlike objects without using like or as. We can say that simile is also used in the form of metaphor also, but like and as are compulsorily used in simile but not in metaphor. Okay, dear students, so let's go to next figure of speech. It is personification. Another very interesting figure of speech is personification. In this, we personify or represent a non-human entity as human. We give in an inanimate object or an intangible idea of some human qualities such as emotions or gestures or even speech. This is done to portray the object as alive and help the listener or reader paint a vivid picture. Again, if we take the words at their literal meaning, they will sound absurd. In the personification also, we give human qualities to a non-living thing. So whenever you see a non-living thing has been treated like a human beings, we can say that personification is being used in the sentence. Let us see some example. The wind howled and the storm grew stronger. Here, the wind howling means howling is a sound produced by living creature. Some animals howled. It doesn't mean that wind is producing howling sound or the storm is getting stronger and stronger. We only see that the storm is getting near to other and getting more cruel. So, personification is used to give human qualities to non-living things. Here we have taken an object, the wind, and personified it as a living thing by claiming it howled. Other such examples could be time ran away from him, the boat danced in the puddle, the car died in the middle of the road. Means in this last example it is said that the car died in the middle of the road. So death is a human quality. The boat danced in the puddle. Dancing also is a human quality. Time ran away from him. Running also is a human quality. But all these human qualities are being applied to non-living things: time, boat, and car. So here we can say whenever a sentence is having some human qualities applied to non-living things, we can say personification is being used by the writer. Can see some more examples. Personification gives human qualities to non-living thing or ideas. So this is a very easy definition given to you. You can note it down. Let's take some more examples. The flowers nodded. Nodded. This nodding is also a human character, but the flowers are nodding. It means flowers are given human qualities of nodding. The snowflakes danced. Again, the dance is given to snowflakes. The non-living snowflakes are dancing like human beings. This is not possible, but just to give some style and special meaning to the words, these type of figures of speech are being used. The thunder grumbled, the fog crept in, the wind howled. Already we have seen these type of figures of speech. So in short, we can say in any sentence, if you see any non-living thing is treated like a human being of qualities like running, breathing, eating, fighting, dancing, walking, dying, singing, reading. So we can say here figures of speech personification is being used. Let's move to another. Hyperbole. Hyperbole in the Greek language translates to excess, and that is what it does, it exaggerates. We use hyperboles to emphasize the importance or overstate something. This exaggerates claims and statements are never meant to be taken as their literal meaning. They are used to create a strong and lasting impression. Let us see examples so that we can understand hyperbole clearly. An example would be, since he has been away from home, he has gotten as thin as a toothpick. Now, in this sentence, we can say that any person who was bit away from home for some particular reason, he has got thin by his health, but not like a toothpick, because toothpick is of a size which is not possible for any human being to be like it. But this sentence wants to say that that particular human being was growing very thin. Obviously, he has not gotten as thin as a toothpick. We only exaggerate to emphasize on how thin he has become. Let us see some more example. Those shoes cost a king's ransom. For the millionth time, clean the kitchen. His grandfather is older than the hills. So, in these examples, in the first one, those shoes cost a king's ransom. It doesn't mean that to purchase a shoe we have to ransom a king. Means we have to take some money from the king. It doesn't mean that we know that the shoes are very costly. For the millionth time, clean the kitchen. We in our daily talk also we say, I have told you 1,000 times do this particular well, or I have said you 1,000 times not to repeat this particular work. So it doesn't mean that you are counting and saying for 1,000 times. It means that you have said many times to do some particular work or not to do some particular work. His grandfather is older than the hills. It also doesn't mean that the age of hills has been taken out and the age of grandfather is also taken out and the comparison is made between the ages. It signifies that his grandfather is much older. So let's take some more example. So definition is, hyperbole uses exaggeration or emphasis for emphasis or effect. Let us see some examples. I have told you to stop 1,000 times. Again we see that it has not been counted and said to stop, but many times it has been said to stop. So people use to exaggerate, they will use some number like 1,000 times or million times. That much have cost $1 billion. It doesn't mean that particular thing was of $1 billion. It was bit costly. I could do this forever. Means it doesn't mean that he will or she will keep on doing this work for a whole of his life, but they can do for the some long period of time. She is older than dirt. It doesn't mean that the age of dirt and the age of particular human being is compared. It means that the dirt was present there since much longer time. Everybody knows that. It doesn't mean that every person in the whole world knows about some particular thing. It means that that particular news is being spread to a long society or some extendable societies. Means those people living in particular society know about that particular news. Okay, dear students, so hyperbole is used to show exaggeration for emphasis or effect. Many times when we are talking, when we are to say something, we use exaggeration to create a deep impact upon the listener. So we use hyperbole. So whenever you see any exaggeration is made in any sentence, you can say hyperbole is been used by the writer. Next figure of speech, the last one is onomatopoeia. This is also a very special figure of speech which deals where words or phrases indicate sound. Often to bring about more imagery and better describes a setting, authors use words to involve all five of our senses. Onomatopoeia refers to those words that imitate the sound of an object or person. So, dear students, onomatopoeia is very easy. You can detect it easily. Onomatopoeia refers to the sound, means the word which tells us about the sounds and nothing else. Let us see the example. The bees buzzes or buzzed around in the garden. Here the word burst is indicating the sound coming from the bees. So here buzzed word is used in the sentence. We can say that onomatopoeia is present here. Some other examples are the leaves were rustling. Here rustling is a word of sound. The door was squeaking. Squeaking again is a sound. He closed the book with a thud. Again this thud is a word used for showing the sound. So whenever you see a word which is used for a sound and it is used in the sentence, you can say that onomatopoeia is used by the writer. Let us see some more example. So onomatopoeia is the term for a word that sounds like what it is describing. Example: whoosh, splat, buzz, click, oink. These are the words which are used to show the sound, like thud, roar, splash, etc. So these are the words which are used for showing the sound. So onomatopoeia is used in sentence to show the sound. Whenever you see such kind of words which represent sound, you can say onomatopoeia has been used by the writer. So dear students, this comes to the end of this segment, figures of speech. We have taken 5 basic figures of speech. There are many others, but we will discuss it later whenever they are being used in our book. So you will again get a homework regarding this figures of speech. You will be given some sentences and you have to find figure of speech, but not in this video. You will get it later on in the next video. Till then, all the best. Stay home, stay safe, and keep learning. All the best, dear students.